And we are back once again. It is time for day 2 of Matchday 5 in the Champions League after a day 1 where I don't know what the record is for most goals in a group in one night, but we had 16 in Group H last night with that 7-2 for PSG and the 4-3 for Benfica against Juventus. Goals galore elsewhere, apart from in the Man City Dortmund game, which ended up being quite a boring 0-0 outside of that Mahrez penalty, which I did call exactly where he was going to put it and that he was going to miss. So sadly, I don't get any prediction points for that, but it's just I've seen Mahrez take penalties so many times and you know he's going to shoot left at the goalkeeper's height, and it baffles me why he still takes penalties. But anyway, that is a brief discussion about last night. Let's get into our usual process, run through the results of last night's games, tally up the points, and then look ahead to tonight's fixtures. As always, if you are new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel. We are near enough posting daily at this point, and we will be once the World Cup starts. And of course, drop a like if you are enjoying this series. Let's get into last night's results. And these were the games, and these were the results. And I don't really have too many complaints. The only real complaints I have are the ones that I got right but didn't get correct. So a goal for Salzburg, 1 goal short for Sevilla. Ones like that, it's just like, come on, we just need those ones to go our way. Great result for Leipzig against Real Madrid, making that group even tighter going into the final game, meaning that Madrid would have to win their last game to secure top spot in that group. And like I said, we always spoke about Man City, and I had a feeling on Celtic, and if you've seen the highlights of the Celtic-Shakhtar game, you would have known it could have been about 5-5, let alone 1-1. So, like I say, not really too many complaints about last night's predictions. All in all, it was a matchday score of 5, bringing the season score now up to 47. So, as always, please let me know down in the comments how you got on. And let's look ahead to tonight's games. And we start with Group A, and arguably the toughest game to call tonight because it is between two teams that are so inconsistent this season, it makes it near enough impossible to predict what's going to happen. It's a must-win game for both. I say that Liverpool only need a draw, I think, based on the amount of points they've got because of the wins against Rangers. So if Liverpool get a draw, that will be enough. Ajax need a win to keep their chances alive. And obviously, if they can't progress, then they need the win to get in the Europa League. I really don't know where to put this because of how, like I say, inconsistent Liverpool have been. I have to look at the teams on paper and say Liverpool are a much better team on paper. However, Ajax almost went to Anfield and got a result. If it wasn't for a back post miss from Daley Blind, it would have been a draw. And Liverpool have just lost to Nottingham Forest after narrowly beating West Ham. But again, Ajax have not played well in this Champions League. They were heavily beaten by Napoli twice. They obviously did lose at Anfield, and they've been doing okay domestically, but not as good as you'd expect. So all things considered, I'm just going to edge it in Liverpool's favour. I'm going to go for 2-1. And obviously there is always the chance that if Liverpool do play to their maximum, then they could blow Ajax away the same way Napoli did. So it's a conservative 2-1 to Liverpool, but I really think all results are possible here. And it will be very interesting going into the final group game if it is an Ajax win tonight. As for the other game in the group, it is Napoli against Rangers. Napoli, who have blown away everyone so far in this Champions League group, and I expect no less tonight as well, even if they do make changes, which they might, but I don't think they will. They want to wrap up top spot in the group, and the best way to do that is just to beat Rangers tonight. So I expect Napoli to be at reasonable full strength. I'm going to go for 4-0. Honestly, if they do again play to their maximum, it could be more than that. Liverpool hit them for 7 a couple of weeks ago at home, so going to Naples, it's not going to be an easy night for Rangers in that one. Moving on to the next group, and we start with the first early kickoff of today. We have Brugge against Porto, and after back-to-back disrespecting Brugge, tonight I'm going to give them the win, and they will inevitably not win. They are very much the Brighton of the Champions League for me. Whatever I go for, I get it wrong. So I'm going to go 2-1 for Brugge. I think Porto are a very good team. I think Porto are more than capable of beating Brugge, but if Brugge play the way they have in all of their other games, they should beat Porto. So I'm going to respect them this time. I'm going to give them the win. And when they inevitably lose or draw, we'll see next week, then you can all laugh at me once again. Next up then, it is Atletico and Bayer Leverkusen, two teams that really do need the win if they're going to have any chance of doing anything, whether that's just progressing to the next round of the Champions League or even qualifying for the Europa League. You have to back the home team in this one. I know Atletico haven't really performed to their maximum domestically or in the Champions League so far this season, but somehow Bayer Leverkusen have been performing even worse. So I have to go with Atletico. I'm going to go for 2-0. I don't really think I need to say any more about that one. On to the next group then, and we start with the other early kickoff. It is Inter Milan against Victoria Plzen. Inter Milan just need to win this game, and it will confirm Barcelona's exit from the group, which makes it very interesting given the fact that this game is being played before Barcelona play Bayern Munich, because that may determine slight changes to the Barcelona lineup. It all depends. Realistically, I can't see Plzen going to Inter Milan and getting a result. I really don't. I can see them getting a goal. I think they've been very good for getting some goals in the last couple of games. So I'm going to go for 4-1. But, you know, it's not a surprise that I'm going to go for Inter Milan win here. And like I said, that will mean that Barcelona will already be out going into the Bayern Munich game. They are pretty much going to be secure in the Europa League spot, Barcelona. So it'd be very interesting to see what sort of team Xavi puts out if, you know, after 20 minutes Inter Milan are 2 or 3-0 up, meaning Xavi can just afford to rest players. Bayern Munich will, of course, want to secure top spot in the group as well. So I can't see them making too many changes. I'm going to go for a Bayern Munich win regardless. I'm just going to go for 3-1. I think, again, if Bayern play the way they've been playing, they'll beat Barcelona regardless. Barcelona haven't been amazing. They've been good without being brilliant, and given what happened against Inter Milan a couple of weeks ago, I don't see them doing it against Bayern Munich tonight. So 3-1 to Bayern in that one. Next up then, we have another two teams, should I say, that have been incredibly inconsistent. One inconsistent in the Champions League, one inconsistent in general in Tottenham and Sporting. Sporting will be looking to put right their cock up against Marseille with that, obviously, you know, the handball and all that lot. And Tottenham just looking for a response after a very, very poor couple of weeks for them domestically. And I don't see it happening. I don't think Spurs will win tonight. You know, that's the point of these prediction series. It's about making the tough decisions and going for what I think is going to happen. I just don't think Tottenham will win tonight. I think there's so much pressure on them. And it's not like Conte can ring drastic changes because of all the injuries they've got. So it's going to be a very similar looking team. They're going to be going against a Sporting side that do need the win. This group is incredibly tight. And we'll touch on that when we get to the other game. But as it stands right now, all four teams could still win the group and all four teams could still finish bottom of the group. So an awful lot to play for in this group. And I'm going to start with a 1-1 in this one. And in the other game, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Marseille, because the way they've played the last couple of weeks, both domestically and in the Champions League, I think they have performed slightly better than Frankfurt. So I'm just going to edge it in Marseille's favour, which would put the group, I believe it would be Marseille top, then Sporting, then Spurs, then Frankfurt. So it would be very interesting going into the last game if the results do go this way. That is what I think is going to happen. That is going to be the end of today's video. As always, let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen. And I will see you on Friday for my Premier League predictions. Thank you very much for watching.